Today I want to talk about training rear delts with rear delt cable flies. Now the deltoids, there's three heads. You have your front head, you have your middle head, which gives most of the roundness from the side, and then you have your rear delt here at the back of the shoulder. Now, all three heads should be well proportioned with one another, or you're going to have imbalanced deltoids. Now the front delts tend to get a lot of work from chest, so you really don't need too much front delt work. They also take a lot of the load when you're doing shoulder presses. They're even involved to a bit in lateral raises, so they get a lot of work. So most guys focus on the middle deltoid head because that's what gives you that width and roundness in the delts. So the rear delts tend to be an afterthought and get overlooked. And that's too bad because it's the rear delts that really complement well-developed shoulders. So you should be focusing on rear delt work every time you train shoulders. If you look at any of my workouts, they always include a rear delt move. And most of those rear delt moves also work the middle traps and rhomboids, as well as some of the rotator cuff muscles, which are going to help you create stronger shoulder girdles, the whole shoulder joint area, and that's going to help prevent injuries. It's also going to increase your strength on other moves because those supporting muscles are stronger. So don't overlook rear delt work. Now, one of the best ways to hit rear delts is with cables. Now, the standing cable rear delt fly, whatever you want to call it, rear delt raise, it's got a number of names, but it's basically taking cables and doing your rear delt raises with the cable. And the cables are going to provide constant tension. But there's a right way and a wrong way to do this exercise, as always. So you're going to set up your handles on the crossover station about somewhere around shoulder height. Some people like to go all the way up to the top. My cable crossover station is a short one designed for home use. I've converted my garage into my gym, so I need a smaller cable crossover, so it doesn't even go that high, but you really don't need to go all the way up to the top. As long as it's at shoulder height or a little above, you're fine. Once you have the handles set up, you're going to grab them from opposite arms. So I grab this side with my left arm, this side with my right arm. Now, when I stand in the starting position, I am not starting with my hands together here. The rear delts are not involved in this movement from here to here. There's very little rear delts used. So you don't need to bring your hands all the way. In fact, that's going to rob you of utilizing your rear delts better. You're relying on the momentum that you've created from this move to finish the move, which means your rear delts aren't going to be doing the majority of the moving. So you want to start with your hands at about almost like a shoulder width or even wider starting position. And then you're simply just going to, with a slight bend in your elbows, bring your arms all the way back, focusing on really contracting those rear delts, those middle traps. You want to really feel them contract. Hold it for a second and then bring it back to the front. Don't let the handles come all the way together. Like I said, keep them at least shoulder width apart. Come back, hold it nice and slow. That's the proper way to do the exercise. You don't want to be throwing them, you don't want to cross your hands, you don't even want your hands to touch. This is as close as you need to go, regardless of what type of resistance you're using for the rear delt move, whether it's dumbbells, you're doing bent over, lateral raises. Right here is fine, whether it's a machine, stopping here is fine. Whether it's cable, you do not even or if you have a band. If you're going to do band pulls, I'll get into that in another video. You don't need to bring your hands all the way together to do those. There's no rear delt utilization from hands together to here. There's different muscles involved. Sure, it's providing some, but it's really not the major mover here till it's right around here. This is the range of motion where the rear delts really kick in, right there, beyond shoulder width with your hands and all the way back as far as you can go. So try adding this exercise to the end of your shoulder workouts to really hit your rear delts, middle traps, and rhomboids. Start out really light, guys. Get the form down. You want to make sure you're doing it nice, slow, and controlled, really feeling those rear delts contract and the middle traps contract in that finished position before you bring it back. Nice and slow and controlled. Really feel those muscles. Those are very weak muscles on the body compared to the rest of the pushers, okay? So the pushing muscles, these are more pulling muscles. In this case is more of a pulling motion. So we want to be able to strengthen those pulling motions. That's going to help avoid injury, and it's going to allow you to be stronger on other moves. So I would say keep your reps in the at least 12, 15, if not 20 and above range as you're getting used to that. Remember, reps are going to train your nervous system. If you're not used to doing this exercise, then you're basically a beginner on this exercise, and your body needs to learn how to perform it properly. And the way it does that and gets stronger and better at that exercise is by synchronizing your motor nerves. The motor nerves, those are just the nerves that travel to that muscle and make it contract. The more reps you do, the faster you train your nervous system, the faster you get better performing that exercise, the faster you can improve your strength and development, faster you get stronger, faster you get injury free. Stick with reps, and like I said, then start periodizing later. You can go down as low as even 3 to 5 reps as long as you're not compromising your form. So put this exercise to good use when you train shoulders. And as always, guys, stay Gym Army strong.